Well, let's get into the tips. We've got three panel members and myself going through the NRL tips for this round. We might start. We might skip the Sharks and Cowboys game because we've already seen that one, 44 points to 6. The Sharks getting up. I think. I don't know. I might go through. Did anybody actually tip the Cowboys this weekend, Jesse?
I didn't give him a hope.
No,
No, I didn't give him a
Big
hope
T?
either. Not at Shark Park.
No, I had the Sharks.
Yeah. Well, we've obviously got some perfect tipsters here as or we've got some liars. I'm not sure. All right, we'll move on to the first game Friday night. The Parramatta Eels up against the Newcastle Knights. Couple of cellar dwellers of the competition. Jesse, how do you see this one playing out?
I'm going with the Knights. I think they've shown a lot more than what the Eels have this year. Eels, they're not a patch on the side they were last year either. Regan Campbell is a massive out. Massive. He's their best front rower. I think he would have been a walk-up start in the New South Wales side had he been fit. Wirramir Greg comes into the side, but yeah, he's no Regan Campbell-Gillard. I've been impressed with the Knights lately. They should have probably won that game against the Cowboys last weekend. A few errors cost them. I like the Knights in this one. I think they can get the chocolates. I think they'll get the win over the Eels in a close one. And I think Kalen Ponga will be back. Kalen Ponga should start again this week, so he'll ease back into these form we know he can get. I'll go the Knights in a close one. I think they'll get home.
Oh, Big T.
Yeah, I like how Newcastle are playing. Like Jesse said, they should have beat the Cowboys last week. And I actually changed my tip from Cowboys to Newcastle just before the game last week, so I thought they were specials to win. But they've got Macatello back on the bench, the Parramatta Eels. And I like Parramatta at Parramatta Stadium. So in a close one, I think Parramatta will just pip the Knights. But yeah, the unlucky Knights it'll be, the unlucky Knights.
All right, Hasman, are you going to go the favourites or you going with the Knights?
I'll go with the Eels. They'll be looking to bounce back after getting taught a lesson by the Broncos last week. They should have got beaten by more, I think, to be perfectly honest. But look, I think at home and just looking at a couple of stats, I'm going to say Parramatta by 8.
There we go. Well, I'm gonna go. Everyone's against Jesse here in this one. I think I'm gonna go the Eels as well. I can understand where Jesse's coming from with the Knights. I actually think I think Kalen Ponga at 6 actually makes them worse. I think it makes him the focus of the attack, and that they just look at where he is, and then it makes them a lot easier to shut down. I think when he's I think he's a fullback. I don't think he's a half. So that's that. I actually think it makes the Knights worse having Kalen Ponga there. I think we saw that last week against the Cowboys, and so I'm going to go with Parramatta at home to get the job done. All right, we'll change the order up a little bit. We'll go to you, Big T, for the the big game Friday night, Broncos and South.
Oh, it will be a big game. Broncos, I've got big outs. Corey Oates, Ezra Mann, Payne Haas, all out of the team. South Sydney are favourites for this one up in Brisbane, but I think in another close one, I think Adam Reynolds and Reece Walsh can get the Broncos home in this one, I think.
Yep. So you go on the Broncos.
Broncos, yeah.
Yep. Jesse, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, as Big T said, no Ezra Mann, no Payne Haas, no Corey Oates. That's 3 massive outs for the Broncos. Payne Haas is the big one, I think. He's been the rock of that forward pack all season. Rabbitohs will be full of confidence after that great win against the Panthers last week. That was a remarkable game of football. probably one of the games of the season. And I think with those outs of the Broncos, taking into account South's form of late, I'm going to go with the Bunnies. Even with the loss of Kaloa Matangi last week, I thought the likes of Michael Cheekham and Jacob Post stepped up. Damien Cook's found his form again. Latrell Mitchell, he was on fire last week. Even Campbell Graham, I think he's put his hand up for an origin spot. He's going that well. He's got to be in the conversation there. All the South players are doing their jobs. So Tyler's back as well. I think the Rabbitohs will be comfortable winners in this one, actually. Comfortable
winners. Hasman, are you that confident on the Bunnies, or are you going the same way as Big T with the Broncos at home?
No, I think the home ground advantage will probably see the Broncos get up in a close one. I think Reynolds and Walsh are going to be too classy.
Yeah. I'll split the difference. I think I'm going to make it 2-2. I think even up at Suncorp, I think South will be too good in this game. I think Tavita Totola is an underrated inclusion for South. He comes in at the same time as the Broncos lose their big man in Payne Haas. Not to mention the impact that Ezra Mam and Corey Oates will have being out. So I'm going to go South to get this. I don't think it'll be comfortable, but I think they'll be good enough to get the win. I'm certainly not confident, but I'm going to go South. All right. First game on Saturday. I'll start with you, Hasman. The Raiders and the Dolphins in Wagga.
Yeah, not much history to go on with this one. They've only played once with the Dolphins getting up by 6. However, I think Canberra are going to be, again, home ground advantage will probably see them home. I don't think there's too many outs to speak of. Jack White, and he's just signed a multi-trillion-dollar deal with South, so he'll be wanting to sort of prove that he's worth it. So I reckon he's up for a big one. I think Canberra will probably get up by I'll say 8-12.
Jesse, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah. This was really a toss of the coin, like with the signing of White to Souths and declaring that he wants to win a comp at Souths. I think Ricky Stewart may have his team riled up for this one. He probably wants to prove Jack White wrong, that saying we can win a premiership. He'll probably want to he'll rally his troops and say we want to prove Jack wrong. I would be too, like, losing a gunplayer like him. Dolphins, they were very good in their comeback last week, but the Titans were very bad as well. I think they'll be buoyed by that as well. I think it'll be very close, and good to see the Raiders taking a game down the Wagga. Last country town, it doesn't see a lot of top flight rugby league, so it's good to see them doing that. I'm going to go the Dolphins by 2 points. I think they'll just sneak home.
And Big T.
Big T, that's me. Yeah, you gotta love me. I think we do. Well, everyone does. Everyone loves Big T. I think Canberra Raiders are at full strength. Apart from Xavier Savage, out of the side, he's on the extended bench. I don't think the Raiders could get any stronger at the moment. They haven't got many players out injured, and if they are, they're only minor players anyway. But I think the Raiders will get this one. Again, small margin.
Xavier Savage is an interesting one that you mentioned there, Big T.
Yeah.
For me, he's been back for a couple of weeks now playing New South Wales.
For me,
Cup.
he's a better player than Jared Croker. But
why is Xavier Savage not in the team? Like he certainly
sure.
brings.
The Raiders are pretty close to full strength if you if you have a look at the team.
Currently Nick
I
Kotrick,
just
yeah.
And Nick Kotrick, yeah,
I just think
He's the only out, I
Savage
think.
brings plenty.
does.
But yeah, it's one of those games where I think you almost have to look at that full 22 or 21, 22 man squad or whatever it is, because like on the extended bench for the Dolphins, you've got Edric Lee, you've got Anthony Milford, Kenny Bromwich is back. He's in the actual 17, but yeah, there's certainly a few there on the extended bench that could make a big difference to how you tip in this game. You'd think in Wagga, it's a bit of an awkward sort of trip for the Dolphins to make to get there. That tips me towards the Raiders, so I'm going to go the Raiders. But again, it's another game with where I'm tipping with not a great deal of confidence, which is sort of my go-to this year. And I'm running last in the tipping comps that I'm in, so that's although I did get 7 from 8 last week, so yeah. Anyway, moving on to the second game on Saturday. I don't know whether we started with you before, Big T, but we'll go Manly and the Titans. How do you see this one playing out?
Where are we? 4 Points Park, Manly, too strong for the Titans. Yeah, they will be. They'll be all over the Titans. Yeah, there's not many ins and outs for Aaron Ship did he walk back in for the Broncos, for the Titans. But anyway, no, Manly by plenty again.
Yep, fair enough.
Titans are woeful.
Well, they were certainly in the second half of the game last week. Jesse?
Yeah. I don't know where the Titans, I don't know where they go from here. How do you recover from leading 26-0 and losing that?
Yeah.
How do they start again? I don't really know where they go.
Tell you what, it's not Tino Fasuamalawi's fault.
He was livid. He was angry.
He was, mate. He was.
Oh, who-
Yeah.
Who Big T?
Who was?
Who was it?
Tino Fasuamalawi.
And his brother was cut from the side too. Like, what's his name?
Too. No Isaac Fasuamalawi. No Isaac.
Is that why they lost?
Could be.
But I'll go into that game. So Tommy Turbo seems to be carrying a bit of an injury. Like he still hasn't gone. He's still not running like we know he can. I think Manly will put him.
Came off with the morning on the weekend.
Yeah, I think Manly. I think Manly should put him on ice this week. It's not a. They don't really need to risk this early in the season. Ruben Garrett can do a job for them at the back. Yeah, as Big T said, I think Manly at home. They will win by plenty. Schuster's out, but Cooper Johns is worthy fill-in. I think Manly will win and win well, even without Turbo. I think Garrett can do the job at the back, and the way Cherry Evans is playing at the moment. And another name you could try and pronounce, Olakau'atu. He's pressing his claims for an Origin debut. He's in great form at the moment. I think Manly by plenty.
That's easy compared to Malawi.
Hey!
He's been practicing that all night.
He's been waiting for that.
Practicing that all week, son.
Hasman, what are you liking this game? Apart from Big Tino.
Look, I've crunched the numbers, and yeah, I think Manly by at least 14. It's third versus 10th. I can't see any scoreline that would sort of belie those standings, to be honest.
Yeah, no. Normally you look at a team's ins and outs, and you look at the outs as a negative. For Manly, I look at Brad Parker and Josh Schuster out of the team, and I think it makes them stronger. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Manly to win this one as well. I think that's another unanimous one. All right, we move on to the third game of Super Saturday. And, well, what a game this is. Everyone's looking forward to this one. It's the Penrith Panthers against the mighty West Tigers. Wow. Where do you start, Jesse?
And this game's in Bathurst too.
Yep. He's in Bathurst. Yep. It's a big it's a country weekend.
It's going to be a bit cool out there. Isaac Targo's out for the Panthers. Surprised Tyrone Peachey back at the Panthers. He gets a start.
Some
yeah.
rumours about Nathan Cleary might be rested from this one as well, but the Panthers are denying it.
No, I don't think so. I think they'll play. They're not going as great as they're not as they were last year, but they're still they're still the benchmark team. I think. I don't think this is the week the Tigers fans. Sorry, Tigers fans. This could be a cricket score. I'm really thinking Penrith by a 40 plus. That's how big I think it could be. It's going to be a long, long night for Tigers fans.
Anything different to add there, Big T?
Not at all. Bathurst is a Bathurst, Carrington Park. They're going to have a huge night if they're Penrith fans. David Norfoluna comes in for Charlie Staines. Tyrone Peachey comes in for Isaac Tago. But I think every Penrith player will score a try at a Bathurst.
Fair enough. Hasman?
Yeah, Penrith by the length of the Great Western Highway. I think Donny, I have absolutely no doubt that this will not be the Tigers' first win for the season. Unless Penrith don't turn up, I don't see Penrith winning this by any less than 30.
Yeah, I hope the Tigers win because I don't want to listen to fans complaining about how the Tigers are going to win their first game of the year against us the following week. Because you know that's coming if they get beaten in this game as they're expected to do. But it's when you're tipping, it's impossible to tip anybody but the Panthers in this game. At Bathurst, I think it's 5 wins and three losses for the Panthers, so they haven't had the greatest of records in that part of the world, and losing games to some out of town teams like Melbourne and the Cowboys as well. But I don't know. You look at this team, and I how could you possibly tip the West Tigers? It's got to be the Panthers. Anyone who tips the Tigers, even if they win, they're not winning your tipping comp. So don't be too worried about anybody that's tipping the Tigers. All right, go to you, Big T. The Warriors against the Roosters.
Mount Smart, Warriors versus Roosters. Roosters got a short turnaround. They're headed over to New Zealand today. I think Jesse said earlier on.
Well, both teams against the short turnaround, the same turnaround.
Yeah. Anyway, but they've had to fight in New Zealand after playing the Anzac Day game against us last week. It was a pretty tough game against us last week, but the Warriors also had a pretty tough game against Melbourne. They were leading for a while, and then Melbourne just came back. But I think the Warriors might just touch up, might just tip the Roosters over there at Mount Start Stadium.
Interesting. Hasman, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I'd have to. There's only a couple of these games. There's only one result that's barring a miracle, and this is definitely one of them.
So you're going the Warriors or the Roosters?
I'm going the Roosters.
Not even your man Jackson Ford.
Well, he's only one man. He's only as good as Ambi's crap. He's got 16 other guys, going to be taking the field with him at some stage. So, he can't do everything.
Jesse,
he can't do everything, whereas Ambi just can't fucking do anything.
Yeah. Jesse, the game in New Zealand, did that tip it in any way in favour of the Warriors?
No, they're starting to get an injury toll too. Roosters, they'd be battered from the game against us on Anzac Day, but I think that with the Warriors losing a lot of troops, that tough game against Melbourne as well. Yeah, a lot of outs. Nickel Klukstad is a big out, I think. Paul Harris, another big out. Roosters only really lost Daniel Tupou. It's basically the same side that played us on Anzac Day. I think the Roosters will be too good.
Yeah, no, I look at the Warriors out. CNK, Jazz Tavanga, Tohu Harris. It's yeah, there's a couple of big outs, and it's a team that I don't think can afford to have those sorts of players missing. There's certainly a few names in there I don't know too much about. I know they've been a different team whenever they play in Auckland, and I expect them to really step up, and the players that are playing will give the Roosters hell. But I'm leaning towards the Roosters getting the job done and getting the W at the end of the day. I think over the course of 80 minutes, I think the Roosters will have just a bit too much for the Warriors in this particular game. Yeah, so that's pretty much it in terms of going through all the games this weekend. Obviously, we're not going to cover off on the Dragons game against the Bulldogs. We did that in the Thursday night show that we did last night. So we're going to get this one out nice and quick. So yeah, thanks very much for joining us, and hopefully the Dragons can be the other one that gets us a win, because we were unanimous on that. Yeah, go the Dragons.
Go the Dragons. See you guys on
That's what I
Sunday
say.
night.